You know, what is the common interest of these Phil-Am kids? Why do they join these, groups like you guys, and why would they want to learn the language? Is there like a wave of this new generation of Phil-Ams that want to rediscover their roots? Because you have generations of Filipinos who leave the Philippines and want to forget about the Philippines. Do you see that wave with the new generation, with the younger kids now?
Well, kasi with the Filipino-American youth here in Chicago, because of that isolation and that sense of detachment with the culture, it's tough for them. It's easy to assimilate in the American life, but it's tough for them to really identify with themselves, certain groups. So, minsan, their culture is very more Latino, but then they're Asian. So, hindi nila alam minsan saan sila pupunta, So, one way of them to touch with the roots is trying to connect with like us who performs in Tagalog and do music in Tagalog and try to do traditional music. And the conversation, the dialogue just starts there. And what we aim to do is that because that learning is important, that in the end they end up meet their parents even more, and so that their stories are being told orally and they understand more where they come from.
I see this also as a sort of therapy for the kids. From your experience, what common issues or concerns do Filipino-American kids have in school or in their community? What sorts of maybe problems or issues do they face?
Well, because they're very isolated and they have this question of identity, it's easy for them to gravitate towards what we call more of an arid environment wherein it's very gang related and there's substance abuse because the community. So, in 2005, there was a research and a study here in Chicago wherein out of all the Asian American youth, the Filipino American youth has the highest rate of suicide tendencies because of that identity crisis and because of that isolation.
Now, tell us more about the Theater of the Oppressed.
Theater of the Oppressed is a technique, it's a form of popular education, and it's very participatory. What it does, it breaks the wall between the actor and the spectator or the audience. So the audience is part of the scene. It's a problem-posing type of popular education wherein a social problem is presented and the audience or the spectator helps solve that certain issue. So merong simultaneous interaction with the actor and the audience to help solve a social justice issue.
Okay, thank you very much, Jenna Pomoceno, the teaching artist from Bagwis Collective from Chicago. Thank you very much for your thoughts and insights. Now, let's get started on some of your immigration, visa, and legal inquiries now. But first, I'd like to remind you that you can get in touch with us in different ways. You can text or email us. You also have the Crossing Borders and ANC 24/7 fan pages on Facebook and Crossing Borders TV on Multiply. Our number, email, and Multiply addresses are flashed on your screens right now. Now, going to our first question. This is from Dan, who asks, how can I obtain a holiday visa in Australia without bond in the travel agency? Now, basically, if the travel agency is requesting for a bond and not the Australian Embassy, then I suggest you apply directly to the Australian Embassy. But for purposes of a bond, that's for the consular offices and embassies to make sure that visitors come back. So if the Australian Embassy is the one requiring, then I think you're going to have to provide a bond. Now, one more question before the break. Does the U.S. Embassy impose a lifetime ban? If so, what would help revert that decision? Is there a formal process? What are the reasons for the lifetime ban? Well, yes, the embassy has the right to refuse a visa applicant, whether it's temporarily or permanently, such as a lifetime ban. In some instances, an application for a waiver of that ban can help revert that decision. The application is made with the embassy and a decision is provided. If it is denied, you're given notice on how to appeal. Now, there are several reasons for a lifetime ban. Some of these are, lying, misrepresentation, trafficking, smuggling, and even espionage. There are several categories, so you should talk to a lawyer if you are banned. Now, we're taking a short break. Stay tuned. This is Crossing Borders on ANC.
Crossing Borders is all about connecting with the global Pinoy. You can text us at 632-917-665-3799. Email us at crossingborderstv on anc@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, where you can post your questions, share your photos and videos. You can also find us on Multiply at crossingborderstv.multiply.com. See you online.